What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the stream, the channel, and welcome aboard. Hope everyone's having a great Saturday. It's beautiful outside. Got some plans later. Gonna do a couple hikes and a couple hikes. What am I talking about? Just probably a hike later with some friends, and super exciting day today for the stream and the channel. We are gonna be taking this big old bird out out of Newark. It's a beautiful day for flying. The winds are calm and pretty clear skies. So we'll be heading out of Newark, flying into Charlotte, and then connecting from Charlotte down to Orlando to get our Space Mountain on, and we'll hop into Disney World and try to have a good time. Where we are running Orbex scenery in Florida, which is the high definition satellite imagery, so it should be pretty awesome. Just give me a second. I am trying to get our flight information from the dispatcher from simbrief.com. And today we are United Airlines Flight 1580 out of Newark. Okay. All right. Alrighty, guys. Sorry about that. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into the office. Okay. So, we got go to our electronic flight bag here. Got our GPU and our chocks connected. Forward entry and forward and aft cargo doors are open and loading. Let's go to the Avitab system here. Pull up our chart information. Winds are calm. 10 statute miles of visibility. Temperature 19, dew point 07, altimeter 3038 out of Newark. We probably plan for a runway 22 right departure. Let's go ahead and pull up the airport information here. And I am running a XATC chatter today. It's a just an immersive background audio of live air traffic control recordings. So it kind of just makes it, a little bit more immersive. We're flying offline today, but in the future we will plan for some pilot edge flights, which should be pretty cool. So ground's going to be on 121.8, and let's go to Charlotte's information here. Winds are out of the east at 7 knots, so we'll plan for the runway 05 arrival. Okay, so let me just update that in SimBrief. We have a airtime to Charlotte of 1 hour and 25 minutes and a total block time of 1 hour and 53 minutes. And then we'll start heading down to Orlando. Alright, so SimBrief has given us a zero fuel weight of 61 metric tons. So go ahead and go to fuel and payload. And we'll go 17.9. Call the fuel truck here, and 7,200 kilos or 7.2 metric tons of fuel, which gives us a zero fuel weight of 61.0 and a takeoff weight of 67.9 metric tons. And that works perfectly with what I'm showing here on the chart on the dispatch paperwork. Alright, that's perfect. So, let's go ahead and head upstairs, and we'll go ahead and get the batteries on. Make sure the standby power switch is guarded and closed. We're going to arm the emergency exit lights. Logo lights and nav lights are going on to the steady position. Y'all dampers will give a minute. We're going to align the IRS. So the 80 IRS is going to be set to nav on both on DC, and waiting for that align notification. Perfect. Trim air is going on. Window heats are going on. We're going to test those. Left and right packs are going on. Isolation valve is to the open position. APU bleed. Don't get to ground power there. APU bleed is going to be on, and our engine bleeds are going to be on. We're cruising to a top altitude today of 36,000 feet. And the landing altitude in Charlotte is 750 feet. Go ahead and test the 10 sign here. Get the chimes on. And we're going to check the crossfeed valve, ensure that it opens, and it does. And closes. Perfect. Yaw dampers are coming on. Beautiful. And we'll go ahead and select ground power here, ensuring that we have at least, I believe it's, well, we got 38 amps right now. And we'll go back to battery. Cabin utilities, IFE, in-flight entertainment, and passenger seats are on. Engine 1 can stay on, Engine 2 can stay on for the hydraulic pumps. Elect 2 and 1 can stay off for now. Beautiful. And our chart information is showing 3038 on the altimeter, so we'll go ahead and plug that in on the EFIS here. Anti-skids are going to get set to RTO. And let's get our course information for departure. Let me just check this chart here real quick. 219er, perfect. And since we're taking off from runway 22 right, we should plan to push back tail to the right. So we'll go ahead to better pushback here. And that works for me.
Ground to Cockpit, plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready.
Alright. So we'll go ahead and get a 219 plugged into the MCP here, and on the heading as well. Go ahead and preemptively set our top altitude to 36,000 feet. Perfect. We'll go downstairs to the flight management computer, and we are in Newark. And we'll go to the next page, copy the lat long information from the left GPS, which is the most accurate, and paste it there. And you can see the PFD and navigation displays have populated, which is perfect. Taking off from Newark and heading into Charlotte, North Carolina. Should be a little bit warmer down there, but it is still a nice day here in New Jersey. This is my hometown airport, and I figured it's probably the best airport to fly out of initially on the stream, since it's where I live. Okay, and we are... Oh. We are United 1580. Course weight of 68.2, and we'll double check that. That's perfect. Reserves, we're going to have 2 kilos of reserves and a cost index of 35 today. We're going to put our top altitude in there, flight level 360. And let me go ahead and check our dispatch paperwork. Our winds at top climb are going to be 171 degrees at 10 knots. So we'll go ahead and plug that in. Perfect. ISA deviation is going to be +5. Perfect. Going to execute on that. And one limit, we'll do the max power 26K thrust in each engine for takeoff. Flaps 5 departure. Got a V1 of 138, VR of 140, and a V2 of 150. So in the MCP, we'll go ahead and program in V2 plus 15, which will give us a reference speed of 165. Get the auto throttles armed. Some people like to wait to arm the auto throttle, but I like to do it on the ground right before push. So we got 165 there. And 4.5 units of trim. Let's go ahead and set the trim wheel to 4.5 units there. And with that, we can go ahead and start loading up the plane. Alrighty, let's go ahead and test our fire panel. Our squibs. Cargo. Fire warning system. Traffic collision avoidance system, or TCAS.
Speed. Adjust. Climb. Climb now. Climb. Climb now. Climb. Crossing. Climb. Climb, crossing, climb, 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 clear of conflict, descend, 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 crossing, descend, descend, crossing, descend, descend, descend now, descend, descend now, increase, climb, increase, climb, increase, descent, increase, descent, maintain,
go ahead and pressurize
speed.
the
Maintain,
left half
maintain
fuel pump.
vertical speed, crossing, maintain, monitor vertical speed, TCAS test, pass.
And we can get rid of the carts outside. Go ahead and close up the cargo doors. And set the power mode selector to APU gen. And start the APU. 1, 2, and 3. Got that low pressure indicator, which tells us that the APU is firing up, and we should see the exhaust gas temperature rising in a moment. So for those of you that don't know, there's actually a third jet turbine in this aircraft. It's at the rear tail of the aircraft. You can actually hear it firing up back here. That's what this little hole is back here. It's an actual turbine that acts as a generator. It doesn't provide any actual thrust for the flight. That's these two CMF-56 engines jobs. But it acts as a generator, so we can be a safe, self-sufficient aircraft without any external power connected or anything like that. So, which in turn allows you to be able to do a complete start with these aircraft with no external power whatsoever. Alright, let's go ahead and test the GPWS ground proximity warning system. And takeoff config.
Wind shear. Wind shear. Wind shear.
Stall warning test.
Terrain.
Left side.
Terrain. Pull up.
Right side. Overspeed warning.
Obstacle. Pull up. Airspeed low.
Perfect. Alright. Overhead panel is looking good. APU gen is online. So we can go ahead and disconnect the GPU and remove the chocks. So we're getting ready to push. Let's go ahead and get our flight plan information uploaded into the box. So we're going to be doing a 22 right departure. Activate that and execute it. Yeah, we don't believe you. Okay, so we're going to be going direct to Biggie waypoint. and then from Biggie we're gonna hop onto an airway, Quebec 75. From Quebec 75 to Gulf Victor Echo, and then direct Lehue. From Lima Yankee Hotel, we're gonna plan the Chelsea 4 arrival and the ILS 05 approach into Charlotte. So the next step is head into the EFIS, go to plan mode, and we can actually step through the entire flight plan, make sure there's no discontinuities. And okay, so we'll break off at ePay, and then we'll self-vector ourselves to Hex on the visual, and then pick up the ILS for runway 05. Go ahead and get our flight directors left side, right side on. And arm heading select. The reason we can't arm LNAV right now is because we're going direct to a waypoint. So let's go to our performance information here. Okay. So we'll verify again. V1 138, VR 140, V2 150. Climb performance, we got a speed restriction, 250 knots under 10,000 feet. And then once we're above 10,000 feet, we'll speed up to 294 knots and arrest at a Mach 0.77. Cruising speed is going to be 0.778, so almost 0.78% the speed of sound. And our descent information. So we got a speed restraint or a speed restriction, 240 knots under 10,000, and initial will be Mach 0.77, and then arrest to 287 knots as we pick up airspeed on the descent. Perfect. So trim is set up here. Rudder trim is 00. And let me pull up the chart information here. Ground is on 121.8.
Ground speed at 116.
And tower is 118.3.
Taxi Alpha, Victor, and Bravo, hold short of November.
04 left, Alpha, Victor, Bravo, hold short of November 2416.
Perfect. And then let's go ahead and grab the departure frequency preemptively on 119.2, and I like to put that in the second radio over here just so I can look over there easily as a reference point. It's 119.2. One thing that was really eye-opening for me is whenever you're on a, taking a plane ride, you're like, why does it take so long for the aircraft to get up in the air and get moving? Like, what are the pilots doing up there? But it's kind of really opened my eyes, and a lot goes into configuring these aircraft to get to where they're going. So,
verify the company we're following is right off our nose.
1205, affirmative.
Alrighty. Alright, APU is online. We will go ahead and give our passengers a welcome aboard message.
From the cockpit, ladies and gentlemen, on your captain today, on behalf of the entire flight crew, I'd like to welcome you aboard. In just a few more minutes, we'll have all the doors closed and ready to begin.
659, ground runway 4 left, taxi right on Alpha, hold short of Juliet.
Important safety video demonstration for the aircraft. I'd like to thank you transfer your attention to that video. For those of you that are interested in listening into the communications between us and air traffic control, United Airlines is the only major airline that will allow you to do that. You'll be able to tune into Channel 9 of our audio entertainment system. And we'll have Channel 9 available for you once we begin the taxi. So we'll be doing everything we can to make this a safe and comfortable flight for you. Thanks and welcome aboard.
And thank you. All right, so we are all set up there.
Taxi left on
You go and
Bravo,
get
hold
the
short of November.
ATC chatter down there. Okay, so let's go ahead and get the fasten seatbelt sign on so everyone starts getting seated and their seatbelts on. We have no fuel in the center tanks. We're only using fuel in the wing tanks today, so we'll keep those pumps off and turn on all of our wing tanks. Both sides of our aft and forward fuel pumps.
Delta 1150, ready to taxi with Tango.
Delta 1150, runway 25 right, turn left onto Delta and hold short of Sierra.
And let's go ahead and call for push.
25 right, left on Delta, hold short of Sierra. Delta
Ground to
1150.
cockpit. Tow is driving up.
So we can get these sounds up. Alright, we'll release the parking brake. And there goes the jetway. I did forget to mention, you guys are going to have to forgive me for stumbling over my words. This is my first stream flying the airliners, so it's definitely a challenge.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready.
Trying to manage
Connect.
everything in the office up here and talk to you guys at the same time. Definitely have a lot of respect for some of my favorite flight sim streamers. Gonna get elect 2 and elect 1 on. Pressurizing those hydraulics.
Okay, 73, clear to push, tail
See if we can get a view of the city.
No, tail east, Delta 1290.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted.
Awesome. There's the
Release
Freedom
parking
Tower,
brake.
Empire State Building, downtown Manhattan. I still think Druzwecki Designs New York looks still holds up even today. I think the scenery looks great.
Okay, Echo, hold short of Delta 9, Southwest 661.
Okay. Let's see here. So, on departure, we're going to be doing after departure, we're going to fly runway heading and then self-vect ourselves on a right turn, direct biggie. Perfect. Going to release the parking brake here and start our push.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Flight attendants, please be seated for departure.
Delta 5052, get up. Delta 10, Delta 10.
Flight attendants, prepare for departure, cross check and all call, thank you.
Should have had the rotating beacon on a lot more previous than I just turned it on. It should have been on way before push.
Okay, 14 minutes right, tail is and after the second northwest and 12.
Okay, so left and right packs are coming off. This is the air conditioning system, so we're going to redirect all that airflow into the engines for engine start. And let's go ahead and start engine number 2. So we'll go engine number 2 over to ground.
You may use your small lightweight devices such as mobile phones, tablets, and e-routers while we're parked at the gate. Large devices such as laptops and DVD players may be used until we're ready to depart. At that time, they must be stowed either under the seat in front of you or an overhead compartment. This aircraft is Wi-Fi enabled.
And we got 25% N2. And engine 2 is online. Over to continuous. Start engine 1. N2 is coming alive.
Southwest 895, monitor tower, good day. Good day, Southwest 895.
Wait for that 25% N2.
Operation complete. Go ahead and set the parking brake.
And introduce fuel.
5 milligrams, right on.
Disconnecting tail.
Fuel
Stand
flow,
by.
engine oil pressure and temperature is rising. EGT is rising. And we have our low compression fans percentage rising. Engine 1 over to continuous. Go to bus transfer. Over to the engine generators. APU is coming off. APU bleed is coming off. Isolation valve to the auto position. Left and right packs are coming on. Probe heats can go on now. And go over to generator 1 on the power selector. And flaps.
Tail is
We'll set to
disconnected
5
and bypass
for
fin
takeoff.
has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have fun up there.
Let's see the flaps coming out there. Very cool. Alright. Go to ground services, get our cabin lights to the night and cruise position. Go to Avitab here, pull up our charts. One thing that's really nice about this EFB is it shows our aircraft icon at the gate, and it'll tell us exactly where to go. I found taxiing at Newark is pretty, can be pretty confusing, and these charts help a lot. So we'll probably taxi from Romeo Gulf, hop over to Romeo Gulf to Romeo, and then take Romeo to Whiskey, and we'll enter the runway from holding point Whiskey. So before we go, let's get our TCAS system on. Make sure that's good to go. And do an overhead panel sweep. Make sure everything is where it should be before takeoff. Taxi lights are coming on. Engine mode selectors are set to continuous. APU is off. Alright, beautiful. Do a quick flight control test before we start taxiing. Full left aileron, right roll, down elevator, and rudders. Perfect. Flight controls are free and correct. Go ahead and blank out the this bottom screen here. Parking brake is coming off. Make sure we have no warning lights that are sticking. and start taxiing. So bring thrusts, start introducing some power to the engines, get this aircraft moving. Test our brakes, and we have brakes.
Copy, 1067, clear on all 31, Alpha 9.
1067 ground for Alpha 9er, tag to be in November, Papa, and Tango, cross runway 2 right, 2 left.
November, Papa, Tango, cross 2 right, 2 left, Southwest 10.
Ground Southwest 1785, tag. So 1585, you're going to company opposite direction on Yankee, they're going to Bravo 7.
So we're gonna taxi from Romeo Golf to Juliet, and then make a left turn onto Romeo.
Hold short, runway 3 on right for maintenance frequency.
Yankee Tango, hold short, 3 on right behind company on Yankee, going to 0 on center, Southwest 1785. Ground, Southwest 141, we're now ready for push for Bravo 10, West Quebec.
141, your discretion.
Our discretion, 141.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and get the flight attendants seated for departure.
Flight attendants, please be seated for departure.
American 115, spot 5, American 115.
Okay, the cabin is secured.
Line
Have a
lights
good
are
flight.
going on.
Taxi, Tango, hold short of Kilo.
Tango, short kilo, American 115.
There's the inner marker. And we're going to be stereo cockpit up to 10,000, so I won't be looking at the chat if anyone's typing anything in there until we get to 10,000. Alright, we're entering the active runway, so our strobes can go on. Start our lineup on runway 22 right for departure.
To the west and advise American 805.
Alright, let's hit it. Let's light the scandal. Run them up 40%, wait for engine stabilization, and toga. Takeoff power set. Airspeed is alive. 80 knots. Cross checked.
D1,
V1, rotate.
Rotate.
Positive rate.
And just like that, we're in the air. Gears coming up.
400.
Flaps are set to 1.
1,000.
Alright, flaps are coming up. And we'll go to our FMS here. And we'll go direct to coast to execute on that. Autopilot 1's coming in. Go ahead and lock our gear. Anti-skids are going to be set to off. And we'll get our retracts in, runway turn-off lights off. And logo lights off. And we're departing. Terrain radar and weather radar on the NDs here. And transition altitude is going to be standard US transition altitude of 18,000 feet. Over to 2909 or 2 on the altimeter there. And just like that, we're through 10,000. Landing lights are coming off. Taxi lights are coming off. Engine modes are going to get set to the auto position. Wing lights are coming off, and we'll ding them in the back. Let them know we're at 10,000 feet.
Engines on. Please remain seated. When the captain turns the sign off, you'll be able to move about the cabin. When you are in your seat, please keep your seatbelt fastened in the event of unexpected turbulence. Please be careful when opening the overhead compartment. We ask that you use the lavatories located in your cabin, and please don't stand near the lavatories in the galley. You may now use all approved personal electronic devices. For everyone's safety, please make sure your personal belongings are clear of the aisle. Please offer personal device entertainment on our United Credit screenings option, sponsored by the United Plus Explorer card, on-demand movies, to the seat back in front of you. Have a headset? We'll be happy to provide one once the captain lets the flight crew get us on our jump seat. As you connect to the United Wi-Fi network, go to unitedwifi.com. You can access united.com and the United app free of charge, where you can check flight status and more. To use other apps and websites, you can purchase an internet access plan. We will be serving a variety of complimentary drinks, wines, craft beer, and other alcoholic beverages for purchase. In United Economy, a variety of snack boxes and refreshments are available to purchase, as well as freshly prepared meals from our bistro on-board menu. You can find more details about the menu in the back of Hemispheres magazine or the seatback guide. We accept most major debit and credit cards, including those with a Visa, MasterCard, Discover, or American Express.
done giving her spiel in the back, we'll go ahead and ask her for a drink or two. A little later, maybe a Bloody Mary or something like that. No, I'm just kidding, but I could use a cup of coffee. We're almost through 18,000 feet, our transition altitude. We're showing some very, not even a cell, just a little bit of color there off our 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock position off our nose there. I don't see any clouds though. Get rid of these sharks. And hopefully winds stay the same. If they change, we can just plan a different runway for our arrival into Charlotte. A little bit warmer down there, 20 degrees Celsius. And we have an on-time departure, so let's go ahead and check the box here and see what time we're going to be getting into Charlotte. For a transition altitude, we go standard pressure. And I always forget to start the chrono. So, Eastern Standard Time right now is 12:57, so we should be on the ground in Charlotte just after 2 o'clock with 3.7 metric tons of fuel on board, which is perfect. So it'll be a little bit of an early arrival into Charlotte. Skyhawk Sim Pilot, welcome aboard. Welcome aboard, man. It says, lower your game audio or make your mic louder. Alright, let's go and turn up the gain on that. Sorry about that, dude. I'm still, getting used to all these stream settings here. Hopefully that's a little bit better. Let me know in chat if the audio is okay for you guys. Still kind of tweaking things, like I said, this is gonna lower the game audio too for you. And let's get some tunes playing as well. Awesome, Skyhawk Sim Pilot. You do you fly X-Plane or FSX or FS 2020? What are you flying? Also, what I'd like to know from the viewers is what's your favorite aircraft to fly in sim, and what's your favorite aircraft in real life? The 737-800 is definitely up there for me, especially in X-Plane 11. I love this thing. We are rocketing out of here through 25,000 feet already. turn down that volume so guys don't go deaf.
Charlie, Tango to the gate.
Papa Charlie and Tango, lead to 1341.
All right, yeah, definitely. I'll check out your channel for sure, man. So just a little bit about myself. My name's Captain K. I'm a 26-year-old. I've been flying flight sims for probably about 15 years now. I got my recreational pilot's license and my PPL out in California. I've spent a lot of time in, ooh, we're making a left turn there, perfect. Spent a lot of time in fixed base and full motion sims. I was a flight medic and combat medic attached to the Marine Corps unit. I was flying on the V-22 Ospreys. Oh, excuse me. And made friends with some of the pilots over there, and one good friend of mine started working for United after he discharged from the military, so he invited me quite frequently up to their training center and got me to fly in their full motion sims, which is awesome. I'll post those videos to the Instagram page for sure if you guys want to see that. But yeah, I've been super into aviation for a long time now, and flight sims, I started back in the old days of FS 2004 and have been flying. I've got a gaming PC, started flying X-Plane 11 back in 2016, and it just blows me away how far these simulators have come with their realism and their fidelity. I love how, a lot of these aircraft are, study level aircraft, and every system is modeled. Definitely looking forward to the, oh, Xavier's on board. What's going on, man? Welcome aboard. Yeah, FS 2004. That was like, that was a long time ago. It's crazy because when I was a kid, I was like 10 years old, looking at the, playing FS 2004 or FSX or whatever, and you think in your mind, you're like, oh yeah, this is so realistic. And you compare it to what we have today. Xavier, just hammering away, listening to the stream. Right on, dude. I think once I land in Charlotte, we'll go on break, and then I'll talk to Tom and see when we're planning on that hike a little later. But welcome aboard, Xavier. Welcome aboard, man. Yeah. That's awesome, Skyhawk. So, are you what do you primarily like to fly? Actually, you know what? You told me to check out your channel. I will do that right now. Let's see. Is it just Skyhawk Sim Pilot? And the Instagram account name is, you type it in chat. I just have one post on there, but I'll start populating it. I got the fixed base sim, and the full motion sim, and this actually very aircraft, the 737-800. I'll load it in to Instagram so you guys can see that video for sure after the stream. Oh, half an hour-ish? Well, definitely not going to make that. It's earlier than I expected. Alright, we are just under 3,000 feet away from our cruising altitude of 36,000 feet, which is awesome. Would you guys like a cabin tour of the aircraft? I don't think I have my PC specs in there, but I will tell you guys. So I'm running, I just upgraded my PC. I'm running Intel i7-9700K processor. And then I got 32 gigs of RAM at 3200 megahertz on board. 2 terabyte NVMe M.2 hard drives, and RTX 2080 Super graphics card. Hit a little turbulence there. Awesome, 1,000 feet to go to cruise. Another thing I like to do is we'll preemptively pull up the charts for Charlotte. And we'll get the airport info in there. We'll get our approach chart for runway 05. And our arrival. We're going to be doing the Chelsea 4 RNAV. Alright, so when we get to Charlotte for runway 05, missed approach altitude is missed approach procedure. The published is going to be climb to 4,000 via heading 055 degrees and outbound on the Charlotte VOR radial 050 degrees to Attell, and then hold at Charlotte and continue to climb in the hold at 4,000 feet. Beautiful. Alright, we're at cruise, so we can go ahead and get the seatbelt sign off. Zing them in the back and make an announcement.
From flight deck here. Seatbelt signs on, gives you an opportunity to move out. Do ask on your seat though to keep those seatbelts fastened for your safety nose back. So we get closer, we'll update weather gate information. Enjoy the ride. Thank you.
And enjoy the ride we shall. Okay. Alright, so back to the charts. Let's see here. Pull up Avatab. And the front course heading for the runway on arrival is going to be 055 degrees, so we'll go ahead and preemptively plug that into the mode control panel. And have it cross-checked on both sides. And for now, we'll sync up our heading on the MCP with our current heading on the navigation display. And the ILS frequency for the localizer on arrival is 110.905. So we'll go down here, go to ILS, type in 110.905, transfer that to the active position, and cross-check it on both sides, on the first officer side as well. Beautiful. Skyhawk Sim Pilot. Let me look it up. Sorry about that. Got a little busy there. Skyhawk Sim Pilot. Awesome, dude. Oh, I see you're flying the Max. Very cool. Cool stuff. Oh, you got the SSG 747-8. The ZIBO mod that we're flying right now. Yep, the Flight Factor A320. It's a great bird. I really like the TOLIS a lot, the 319 and the 321, and I'm definitely really excited for the, I believe INI Builds is currently working on a A380, which we've never had a high fidelity A380 super jumbo in a flight sim ever. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. Absolutely. Very cool. What are your Skyhawk Sim Pilot? What are your thoughts on the Flight Factor A320 versus the TOLIS aircraft? I'm curious to know what you think. .205 nautical miles to our top of descent, and we should be starting our top of descent about 15 minutes before the top of the hour. Perfect. So, you know what, we can get ATC chatter off for now. And let's go ahead and do, we'll go ahead and do a cabin tour. Make sure we close that door. Alright, for everyone who subscribed to the channel and everyone in chat, you guys, we reserved a special seat in first class for you guys with a champagne shrimp cocktail and whatever food you want. Absolutely. And here we have economy class. I'm definitely very excited for the new level up 737 that is in the works right now. They did a lot of modeling in the cabin and reworked the cockpit textures, and it should be pretty awesome. Here's the rear galley and some coffee pots in case I'm definitely gonna need coffee here in a couple minutes. I'll run out and grab some. I love how with this United livery it includes all the United safety cards and changes the seat colors and all that. Really pretty cool stuff. I don't know, one thing that would be pretty cool is if we can control the cabin lights from the actual touch interface here, like in the real world. That would be pretty awesome. Let's hop back into the office. Back into the cockpit and hop into the seat. Yeah, you literally read my mind, Skyhawk. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of the A320 as well. I definitely think it is truer to the real Airbus than the TOLUS is. The TOLUS systems are pretty great, though. They really are. They do blow me away as well. And yeah, but of course the FPS is a thing. In the flight factor, I don't know why they never really optimized it. I think that's something that they should have worked the bugs out. However, I think that the model is just so in depth with the systems and the textures and everything that, you know, it's kind of hard to you know, optimize it in a sim that's not really optimized in the first place. But I will say, since we all switched over to Vulkan, I'm on the Vulkan API right now, and got almost 50 FPS, and I'm streaming right now, which is pretty darn good. Alright, I'll leave you guys with this view right here, and I'll be back in a minute or two. Just gonna grab some coffee. Be right back. Alright guys, so I am back. Got my coffee. I do think once I land in Charlotte, I'm probably gonna call it a day. And then I'll pick back up early this week and head down to Disney in Orlando. We'll get our Space Mountain on. Beautiful. 137 nautical miles to stop descent, and so we'll be getting our descent into Charlotte in probably about 20-25 minutes or so. Actually, you know what? More like 15-20 minutes. Take care, Skyhawk. Thanks for tuning in, man. And thanks for the support. Definitely going to be checking out your live streams as well, man. And I wish you the best of luck and hope you have a great rest of the weekend, dude. Take care. Alright, this just in, guys. My roommates let me know that Alex Trebek actually just passed away. R.I.P., man. That is pretty sad. It kind of ruined my day a little bit, but, you know, it's alright. We'll be okay. We'll be okay, guys. 105 nautical miles from our top of descent. We're going to probably start our descent a little bit early, about 20 nautical miles or so prior to that. I'd like to just give a quick shout out to Tom, Mike, and Leanne for the support, and thanks for tuning in, guys. It really means a lot, actually, for sure. It is a beautiful day to go flying, and it is beautiful outside. I'm definitely looking forward to getting outside, maybe getting a little hike in with some friends. Should be a good end of the weekend for sure. Along with doing some flying. We're actually making pretty good time, despite having a headwind. But the headwind speed isn't too rough. We're only getting 30 knots, and it's a crosswind offset on 189 degrees, blowing at us from our 10 o'clock position. I've actually never been to Charlotte, North Carolina. I've never flown into the airport IRL, but it definitely looks beautiful every time I fly into there in the sim, and I am looking forward to showcasing that Orbex scenery either tomorrow or Tuesday. But I'll keep you guys updated and schedule the stream and the channel respectively. So, after that, I'd like to stick in the U.S. for a while. I think some things that we could plan to expect in the future. I think after we get down to Orlando, I'd like to do a flight from Seattle all the way down to San Diego, showcasing our Orbex True Earth scenery. Pretty much the whole ride down there, so it should be pretty beautiful coming into San Diego. I definitely have a affinity for San Diego. I was stationed there for 3 years, I think. It's a pretty crazy airport to fly into as well. It's one of the more challenging airports in the U.S. to land in because the runway is a little bit shorter. I think it's just under 8,000 feet long. And as you're coming in on approach to runway 27 in San Diego, there's a lot of parking structures and buildings that you kind of start buzzing when you right before you're about to touch down, so it's definitely a challenge, but I love flying into there for sure. Let's go and check the winds in Charlotte. We can get the METAR information here. Winds are still 090 degrees out from the east at 7 knots. Still got 10 statute miles of visibility. Scattered clouds, 2,800 feet, 4,800 feet, and 25,000. Temperature's 2.4, so it's pretty warm in Charlotte, which is nice. 2.16, altimeter 3035. And I'm always cross-checking myself, and that's something you should do as well if you're a sim pilot. The localizer frequency for runway 05 is 110.905, and I'm just going to verify that it's replicated here in the nav radio panels, 110.905, 110.905, and it's matching on the first officer side. All right, 30 nautical miles until we start our descent into Charlotte. I think the winds might be getting... Is it getting bumpy? No, we're good. Alright, and let's preemptively get the altimeter setting for Charlotte when we transition to it at 18,000. Is it again? 3035, perfect. So if you look at the primary flight display, you'll see that it says 3035 inches in small text. So that way it indicates that when I transfer back over off of standard pressure on the altimeter, it'll automatically populate it and set it to 3035. So I won't even have to, won't even have to worry about it. Starting our left turn towards BMO waypoint, and we're just passing through Lima Yankee Hotel. Awesome. One thing that is pretty cool with this aircraft as well, which I actually never use just because it's my preference, but it's pretty hard to pull down here, but there is a heads-up display which replicates all of the information on our primary flight display, which is really nice. It's pretty cool. Thought I'd show that off to you guys. Aside from some scattered clouds, it's going to be beautiful weather in Charlotte. You can see the some clouds off our nose at 25,000 feet. It's about 11,000 feet below us. This ceiling is. Alright, just about 10 nautical miles until we start our descent into Charlotte. We can go ahead and set the MCP preemptively to our transition altitude of 18,000 feet. Beautiful. And we're going to go auto brakes to 2 on landing. And we're starting to get some very light chop. We'll go ahead and get the seatbelt sign on since we'll be starting our descent here pretty soon. See the wings are bumping around a little bit. And same thing as the takeoff from 10,000 feet down to the gate until we're on the ground. It'll be sterile cockpit below 10,000, so I won't be checking the chat. Just so I can, get us into Charlotte safely. Alright, 20 nautical miles prior to top descent. Let's go ahead and initiate that descent into Charlotte airspace. Let's go to the descent page, select descend now, and execute that. And we'll see the aircraft the vertical speed is now in the negative. Should automatically be set to 1,000 feet until we intercept the VNAV path, and then we'll pick up the VNAV path and continue down into the Charlotte airspace. Let's go ahead and seatbelt sign is already on. Let's go ahead and let the cabin know that we're headed into Charlotte now.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, we are descending. Seatbelt sign is on. If you happen to be up and about, please return your seat. Keep your seatbelt fastened for the remainder of the flight. On behalf of the flight crew, we appreciate you being with us today. Wish you a very safe and pleasant journey to your final destination. Hope to see you back here with us soon. Thank you.
Alright, so flight attendants are probably going to be getting ready to start running around collecting garbage here pretty soon, and everyone's in their seat getting ready to get off this tin can and go about their day. I'd like to give a huge shout out to a couple of my favorite streamers for X-Plane, Captain Canada and Jeff Avignano. X-Plane 1972, X-Plane 1972, and V1 Simulations. Those guys are truly awesome at what they do. This is definitely not easy. I can tell you from my standpoint, this is not an easy feat trying to manage everything in the cockpit and manage the stream at the same time. It's juggling a lot. It's a lot to do even when you're offline just by yourself. So huge shout out to them, and they've definitely taught me a lot too. I think V1 Simulations is a real world Airbus pilot, IRL, and he's a Definitely a super cool guy, as well as Captain Canada, Kyle, and X-Plane 1972. So we have a restriction here at 270, so we're going to level off at flight level 270 and then continue to intercept the VNAV path and continue on down. A little bit bumpy coming into Charlotte for sure. You can see the wings are bouncing around a little bit. Alright, so you can see here that we're in about, and in 700 feet, we're going to intercept the VNAV path. And that's indicated by the primary flight display here. So once this should match up with this here, this little diamond should match up with this little sideways triangle. If this is in the center, that means we're on the VNAV path. And you can see we're starting to increase our descent rate here, and the engines are going to idle. So when the triangle is above this center marker here, it means that we're below the VNAV path, and then if it is below the center marker here, it means we're above the VNAV path. But as long as you're hovering around, it should be fine. Alright, let's go ahead and drop the MCP altitude down to 10,000. Get the retracts out. Okay, so you can see we leveled off at 27,000 feet, and then as soon as we intercept this marker here, then we will continue our descent down. Alright, so engines are going back to idle. And we intercepted that descent point, and we're heading down to Dent, and we're going to cross Dent at 16,000 feet or above. Let's go ahead and check the weather information in Charlotte again, make sure nothing has changed. And you know what else? We can go ahead and tune our frequencies. So, Charlotte approach frequency, landing from between 246 and 074 degrees. It'll be 120.5 above 8,000. Let's go ahead and tune that frequency. And runways 523, 18 left, and 36 right is going to be 118.1 on the channel frequency there. So we'll go and preemptively tune that. Actually, you know what? We need to get our... Nope. 118.1. So we'll quickly click and hold. And then ground is going to be 121.8. And we'll just put that in to the right side as a reference. Okay. So like I said earlier, on approach, go ahead and pull up the leg page here in the box. We'll intercept EPay at 6,000, and then we'll self-vector ourselves to the right over to KEX, and we need to be at 4,000 or below at KEX.
Traffic. This is Sting 808 Tango Lima. We'll be entering a left base for 25. Now at altitude 2,500. 808 Tango Lima.
Once again, missed approach. The published missed approach procedure is going to be climb to 4,000 feet via heading 055 degrees and outbound on the Charlotte VOR radial on the 050 degree radial to Attell, and then intercept CLT and hold continue climb and hold to 4,000 feet. It's going to look at the approach plate down here, so we're going to intercept KEX at 4,000. Our glide slope is going to be at 25,000 feet. And then head on down to runway 05. Should be not too bad of a landing since it's only slight crosswind at 7 degrees.
Stuck by, check.
We'll go ahead and bring the MCP altitude down to 6,000. For those of you that don't know, so the aircraft is descending itself on the arrival as we put it into the box, but it will not go below the altitude that we select in the MCP. So you want to make sure that the altitude is below the VNAV path. Otherwise, the aircraft will level itself out at the altitude that you have selected in the MCP here.
Traffic helicopter 10 November echoes approximately 7 miles to the south.
Coming up on our transition altitude here, altimeter is still 3035. So once we pass through 18,000, we'll see that get transferred over. And just like that, 3035 is populated on the primary flight display. And we're continuing our descent.
Hey, Marin, yep. Yeah, I'm headed that way. I'll be that way. You'll be there about 15 minutes. Yeah, I'll land at your ranch.
I am not running stock clouds in X-Plane. These are... I think the texture pack is called Unique Clouds. I'm pretty disappointed with the update that we can't use X-Vision anymore, but I do have some custom lighting effects as well as these cloud textures. I think they look pretty great in my opinion. And then I'm using X-Visibility, the Lua script, to have that realistic haze at higher altitudes reflected off the ground.
Traffic 1041 sending cross on runway 19 traffic.
Traffic Cessna 7630 Papa, we are runway 41. Will be attempting a saying the pattern of turn. Traffic Cessna 7630 Papa, 118 will be making a right turn to the northwest.
Once we get below 10,000 feet, landing lights are going to be on, and we're going to let the cabin know that we'll be landing shortly.
It's 3 miles to the west, and we'll be transitioning east side. We have the traffic that's base inside. We'll go behind you.
Let's go and check the progress page. And we will be on the ground about 15 minutes after the top of the hour at 2:15. We should be in Charlotte and at the gate.
We'll be staying 1,000 and below. We got you on PCAS. Roger that.
Let me get some water here to get hydrated. Okay. Sorry for my squeaky ass chair. Gotta get some WD-40 for that for sure.
Traffic helicopter 75 with Delta 1 mile to the west. We have the landing traffic inside. Again, we'll pass behind you. We'll come back.
Traffic, Colonel 44 Juliet is 2 miles to the west, cross over the field for a left downwind 17.
That flight went a lot faster than I had expected, which is good.
And traffic, Colonel 44 Juliet, turning short final 17, full stop.
Another add-on that I'm using are the trees down there. It is Orbex Flora, I believe, Terraflora, and it auto-populates their trees into the default X-plane scenery, and is seamlessly integrated into Orbex scenery as well. In my opinion, I think they're the best trees. Really brings it up to that next level into the scenery. Almost through 10,000, so landing lights are going to come on. I'm going to ding them in the back and let them know that we're be on the ground in about 15 minutes. Going to get the speed brakes out. You can see those come up here. I'm going to slow the aircraft down to... we're not going to do 210 knots. We'll manually select speed intervention to 240. Alright, through 10,000, landing lights are coming on, runway turnoffs are coming on, taxi lights are coming on. I just like to preemptively leave them on because it's easier for me. Engine mode selectors are going to set to the continuous position. Logo lights can come on, wing lights and wheel lights can come on as well. And we'll ding them in the back. And let them know that we'll be landing shortly.
Flight attendants, please prepare the cabin for landing.
Just gonna get this music off for landing.
Ladies and gentlemen, in preparation for landing, we've turned the seatbelt sign on. Flight attendants will be collecting any remaining service items that you would like to discard.
Alrighty, so I don't think we're gonna go all the way out to Ipe. Actually, no, we will. We'll head out to the Ipe waypoint at 6,000, and then we'll continue on to Kex at 4,000 feet or below.
But they must be unplugged from the outlet, set to airplane mode, and secured. As a reminder, carry-on items should be securely stowed either under the seat in front of you or in an overhead compartment. Please make sure your seatbelts are fastened, seat backs and tray tables are upright, headrests are lowered, and footrests and video monitors are stowed. Flight attendants, please prepare the cabin for arrival and be seated.
Alright, so they're getting ready to get seated in the back there. And once we hit Ipe, we'll be self-factoring ourselves to intercept Kex at 4,000 or below.
Did you say base for 18?
Base for 18, 7630 Papa.
Gonna get our terrain radar on this page, and we can turn it off on the first officer's side.
1,000 to go.
1,000 feet to go to 6,000. And let's go ahead and get our reference speed, our VREF for landing. So we'll do a flaps 40 configuration at 141 knots plus 5, so our landing reference speed will be 146 knots. And it's nice that the Boeing FMCs, the Airbus auto-tunes the ILS frequency, but the Boeing FMC tells us here that the ILS frequency is going to be 1110.9 or 5. And, you know, like we set that a while ago, so we can cross-check that as well. So our VREF is, once again, 40 degrees flaps configuration at 146 knots will be our landing speed. And we can start our right turn now. And put 5,000 feet in the the MCP.
Traffic Cessna 9000 Papa 1 mile southeast.
And start a
left
vertical
downwind
speed descent
for runway 18 and pattern 1.
at about 400 feet per minute. Nice and gentle.
Thousand to go.
And we'll go ahead and slow the aircraft down to our minimum flak extension speed at 211 knots.
Traffic Sky 1235 Echo, 11 miles south on the practice RNAV 36, leave at 3000 for 2200.
Unicom traffic, LA 514 Sierra, 7 miles to the east. Be making a left base for 18 full stop. Anybody here, please advise.
Yeah, those trees really look great down there. Also like the lighting add-on where it does something with the cloud shadows. It really looks very realistic. Once we intercept Kex, we'll tune our radio frequency over to tower.
35 Echoes, 11 miles south, leave at 3000 for 2200 on the practice RNAV GPS 36 approach.
And we are sterile cockpit since we're below 10,000 feet.
Tango clear from 17 depart.
Thousand to go.
Alright, 1,000 feet to go to 4,000. And in a moment we're going to start our right base turn to final.
Traffic to Skyline, flight 11 Whiskey is taking off runway 17.
Like cloud coverage is pretty low today.
1,000 to go.
It's a criminal. Well, Sterling, I'll take you back taxi 35.
Alright, here comes that right base turn.
Hey, and Pete, I'm going to go ahead and do a 360 here so we don't go too far.
Okay, we'll just continue straight ahead for a little bit for this turn, crosswind.
We'll go ahead and tune over to the tower frequency and pre-select ground frequency at 121.9er. A little bit cloudier in Charlotte than I expected, but it's okay. It's nice and warm, a lot warmer down here than it is up in Jersey. And we'll go to the legs page and select direct KEX and execute that, and select VNAV, and we'll hold at 4,000 feet and continue our descent path once we intercept KEX. Once we get a little bit closer, we'll arm the localizer. Coffee's good. Alright, we'll go ahead and arm the localizer now, and that'll be replicated in the PFD up on the top here where it says VOR loc is on the standby, and the highlighted green is what is currently selected, which is lateral navigation. And we'll ding the flight attendants. Tell them to take their seats, because we'll be landing and be on the ground in a couple minutes. Localizer is alive, and we'll start our descent down to 2,500 feet. And we'll go ahead and set 180 knots. Actually, we'll go 170 on the MCP. And from the approach mode. Already intercepted the glide slope. Flaps 1. Set 160 on the MCP here. Flaps 2. $2,500 feet. Gear down, flaps 5. A little bit fast here, so we'll try to get this big bird nice and slow. We're going to put our reference speed in here at 146 knots. Two white, two red. Looking good on the glide slope. And we'll set our missed approach altitude at 4,000 feet prior to landing. Flaps 10. Take control of the throttles now. Flaps 15. Flaps 25. Ugh. Flaps 30. Flaps full. Here's down 3 green. Auto brake is set. Speed brakes are armed. We're going to take control of the aircraft now. My aircraft. 500 feet, checked.
400.
So nervous on this stream, I forgot to set my minimums.
Flight slow. Flight slow.
200.
Yeah, we don't believe you.
Flight slow.
I don't know why you're yelling at me.
Flight slow. Flight slow. Flight slow. Flight slow.
100.
Flight slow. Flight slow. Flight slow.
50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
And we are down. Go downstairs. Alright. Nose wheel down and full reverser is green. It's a rough landing. It's always hard going into 05.
80 knots.
Knots, stow the reversers, and manual brakes. We'll exit to the left here. Speed brakes are coming up, flaps are coming up. We are right on time, on the ground at 2:15. Perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Charlotte, North Carolina. Alright, we'll leave the landing lights can come off. Runway turn-offs can stay on. We're going to start the APU and leave the strobes on because we're crossing 18 left here. Go ahead and turn off the anti-skids, get our flight directors off. Get our terrain radar off. APU's coming online. The landing was a little bit rough. I haven't flown an X-plane in over a month, so it's alright. Alright, we'll enter the ramp from here. And continue the taxi over to our terminal. since the APU's online, there's no reason why we can't bus transfer over to APU power and get the APU bleed on. Make a right turn here. Alrighty, runway turnoffs are coming off, taxi lights coming off, engine modes are going to get selected to the auto position. Should have had the strobes off, wing lights are coming off, logo lights can stay on. And we will take the stand over here. Looks good to me, right next to this Southwest 737. Stand Alpha 8. This auto gate might not be working. It's okay though. Lined up perfectly on the line there, and move up a little bit more. All right, that about does it. Bus transferred over to the APU. APU bleed is on. Isolation valve is coming on. Engine bleeds are coming off. Propeats are coming off as well. Power mode selector over to APU gen to monitor that. Flaps are up. Alright, engine 2 off. Engine number 1 is coming off. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to Charlotte, North Carolina. Let's get in. Open up the cockpit door there.
Prepare for arrival and cross check, thank you.
Alright guys, let's oh, there comes the gate. Awesome. I guess it is working. Check that out. Very cool. Alrighty, let's take a look at that horrible landing on the replay.
$2,500.
1,000 feet, stable.
Let's get ourselves set up for a good view here. I love how it leaves the door open once it It's opened at the gate there. Get the exterior volume up here for you guys. That wasn't too bad. Little bounce. And we're down. Little bounce, not too shabby. Let's take a look at that landing from the passenger's perspective here. Love this wing view. Alright guys, well thank you for tuning into this stream. This about does it for us today, and hope you guys enjoyed the flight. We'll see you next time.